Hi, my name is Paul, Culinary Director at Loca. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite classic recipes, carbonara. Today I'm making classic carbonara. One of the reasons classics are classics is because they're always delicious. One variation that I like to add to my carbonara that may or may be argued traditional or classic is adding a little bit of finely minced onion. We're going to use spaghettini. I've got some delicious cured pork coppa, some Parmesan Reggiano, some Walla Walla sweet onions, and some farm fresh local eggs. Typically it's used, you use like a pancetta, a guanciale. Today I've got smoked pork coppa that's been cured. To get started, I'm gonna separate 4 eggs. I'm gonna separate the yolks from the whites. For this recipe, we're only using the yolks. Man's Farm Fresh Eggs, great farm supplier here. They get local eggs there. Sometimes I highly recommend buying your eggs at a farmer's market. 4 egg yolks. While I'm working on preparing my garnishes for the pasta, I've got a pot of boiling water on behind me. That's the first thing that we get going. I'm gonna use the half of a small onion, trim the root, get that skin and any papery bits off of there. We're gonna mince it very finely. We want the flavor of the onion, but we don't want any of the texture of the onion in the pasta. So this is finely minced, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it another once over. Go ahead and set this aside. Next up, I'm gonna slice some of this pork cured and smoked coppa. And I'm just slicing it about 1/16 of an inch or 2 to 3 millimeters thick. And then I'm gonna slice across these slices, which is gonna give us nice little julienne, which basically like matchstick or strips. Get this set aside as well. I like using a microplane to grate my Parmesan. We want the Parmesan to emulsify into a sauce. Don't be shy with the Parmesan. I'm gonna keep my Parmesan and microplane aside in case I wanna finish this pasta with some more fresh Parmesan on top, or you can put it on the table for your guests to add their own. Since we're doing our best to capture the essence of a traditional carbonara, we wanna avoid using cream. As I mentioned earlier, I like to add a little bit of onion. I know that they do add onion, some variations in Italy. As long as you have cured pork, Parmesan, and egg, you're respecting the traditional recipe. Anytime you're cooking pasta, it's really important to heavily salt the water. The ratio that we're looking for here is 3% salt. It tastes very similar to that of the ocean. So if you ever get some ocean water, you put it in your mouth, it's quite salty. That's what you want your water to be like when you're cooking pasta at home. The easiest way to keep your pasta from sticking when you add it to the water is to give it a twist before you put it in. It's very important, as soon as your pasta hits the water, to stir it quite a bit. But if you don't stir it in the first 2 to 3 minutes, you're gonna have a lot of issues with pasta sticking together, clumping, and uneven cooking. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and get the base of my sauce ready. Into my grated Parmesan cheese, I'm gonna add all of my egg yolks. And I'm gonna take some of my pasta cooking water and add this in here as well. And using a spatula, I'm gonna incorporate the pasta cooking water with the egg yolks and the Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna season with a bit of pepper. Pepper's optional. So the Parmesan, the egg yolks, and some of the hot pasta water in here. And this process is called tempering. So I'm bringing the egg yolks and the cheese to a higher temperature so that when I add them to the hot pasta, it's not gonna be a shock and I'm not gonna get scrambled eggs in my pasta. I'm gonna take a little bit of the pasta cooking liquid before I drain off the pasta. I'm gonna keep this aside. This is gonna help me control the texture of the sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of butter here ready on the side. I'm gonna add that right at the end. I've just drained off my pasta. I'm gonna use the same pot that I cooked the pasta in. I'm going to get the cured pork in there right away. It's also already cooked. It's been cured for almost a year. So we're not going to cook it a crazy amount. If you want to cook it crispy, it's not really respecting the product. Personally, I love this product just the way it is. So we're just going to kind of almost sweat it or wilt it. I'm going to add my onions in about 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and add my finely minced onion. I'm going to go ahead and add a pinch of salt, which is just going to help the onion sweat out and go a little bit more translucent quickly. If you don't add salt, the fibers of the vegetables are going to kind of seize up. So salting it really helps to sweat it and get it cooking quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of the pasta water to deglaze the pan. I'm gonna go ahead and add my pasta back in. So I can see it's already quite dry, and add a little bit more pasta water. I'm gonna go ahead and add the butter, and I'm gonna add my pasta water, egg yolk, and Parmesan mixture. But before I do, I'm gonna turn off the heat. So we're slowly gonna mix this to emulsify the cheese, the egg yolk, the butter, and the pasta water. Bring this over and show you how I plate it. You can use a pair of tongs and a ladle, and you just want to grab some of the pasta onto your tongs and then twist it in the bottom of the ladle until all the strands have come out of the pot. Transfer it to your plate, and then using a spoon, get some of that beautiful sauce on the bottom of the pot. And there you have it, spaghetti carbonara, just how I like it.